Welcome back.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
So y'all know we touched on a lot of things. Starting up our Pointe Podcast with Mr. John Hill, with Mr. Bishop. One of the most important things we talked about, well, I say most important to me, was how he expressed himself when he was, how he explained Panama prison that he got caught up in at a young age. Hopefully some of the youth that listen to our podcast, know a little something about, could have learned, took something from it to where it helped him out. You know what I'm talking about? Because Panama prison, hey, what you say? Inhumane?
Very inhumane.
Inhumane,
Yeah.
Don't have rights, and urinals in a cardboard, people sleeping between them and all that. But, and then we talked about his freedom, God bless him, and 2.5 years, right?
Yeah. And that's just going to court. That wasn't,
That's right, because unlike America, you go to prison.
Yeah, you go to prison while you going to court.
So it ain't like America, innocent to proven guilty, even though it's not like that for a black man. But you're in a county jail over here where you got running water, toilet, your cells, and you get fed.
Yeah.
However, over there, it's none of that. You go straight to prison, then prove your innocence, right?
Yeah.
And you judge only by a judge, not by a jury.
It's called the Napoleon law, which Neapolitan law, and that's where there's no jury. It's just your lawyer, the prosecutor, and a judge, and the judge basically judges whether or not you're guilty or innocent.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you came back, went to Miami.
Yeah.
Came home with 3 kids.
Yeah.
Went in with 2. Came home, came out with 3.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about how that happened, but you know.
It happened, and it was and I had 2 kids before. Like I said, my 2 kids with my ex-wife, and I decided to marry her when I came home.
So and one in Panama or the one here?
The one here, yeah.
Okay.
And
the one from New York?
Yes, that we grew up in New York. So I told her, I was like, hey, there's a possibility that I got a child in Panama. Because at that time I didn't do no blood test, nothing of that. I said, I just want to let you know, but I want to get married, because at that time, my mind was, like I told you, God and family.
God and family.
Like, that was my main objective. Like, you know what? I got two children with this woman. Maybe, this is what I want to do.
Prison has a tendency to do that.
Yeah, it does. And
but how long you stayed married after with that woman?
I was married for 25 years. We was together 32 years.
Which brings us to Atlanta.
Yes.
So you got out. You started your real estate.
Yeah. In Miami.
In Miami, got your barbershop. Got your first house, you ended up flipping it.
Well, in Miami, I had 3 barbershops.
3 barbershops? Okay.
In Miami, yes. 3 barbershops.
3 barbershops.
Started the real estate
now, how
in
you
Miami.
How all that come on?
You know what? Like I say, it was God's blessings on me.
Yeah, that was God. Right.
It was God. I promised to God it was God.
You promised God it was God?
Yeah, I promised to God it was God.
Everybody promised God it was God.
I know. and then they still God.
Somebody God.
Right.
Not the God.
But it was
a God.
It was the God.
The God.
Not a God.
Oh, so you got it honestly.
Huh?
You got it honestly.
Oh yeah, I did. I got it honestly.
Then you got it the Panama way.
No. I got it honestly.
You was done with that life.
Yes. Yes.
So you earned your earnings coming home, theology school, college, barber school.
I started my first shop by myself, but then I had a customer that I dealt with who ended up being one of the biggest producers music producers, Steve Morales, and I'll name his name because I'm gonna give him a shout out. Steve Morales.
Give OJ a shout out.
I get OJ a shout out too, because he told me when I told him I was coming here to Atlanta, in my chair he called up somebody he knew from here, and he was like, "Look, my barber's coming to Atlanta. Please look out for him." And who that turned out to be? Ryan Cameron.
Oh wow! So the juice showed you he really had the juice.
Yeah.
Okay.
He put me on the phone with Ryan Cameron while I was cutting his hair in Miami.
Right.
And Ryan Cameron was like, "Oh, you coming to Miami? Cool. Charge that big head motherfucker extra, because you got to cut his big head." That's what Ryan Cameron told me. I don't know Ryan. Juice extra, because I got to cut his big head.
Right.
And I was like, okay, all right, yeah. But at that time, I didn't know nothing about Ryan Cameron. I'm living in Miami.
Right.
It wasn't until I came to Atlanta that I learned about Ryan Cameron and knew who he was. And then he started buying my product. He started telling me I could push this for you, Jackhammer Platinum.
I want to get to that later.
No, we'll get to that.
We'll
I just threw that in there. I met him at Cigar City Club.
Oh, okay, you made it back to cigar. But we let's stay back.
Okay.
Because getting to Atlanta,
Right.
put your 2 feet,
Mm-hmm.
touchdown, boots laced up, heel hard down, got your family on the ground with you in
Right.
ATL.
Right.
You left 3 barbershops, you sold them. Got rid of them.
I sold 2 and kept 1.
Okay, you sold 2.
And kept 1.
Man. Then what you do when you get here? What's the first thing you do? First occupation with barbers? Where you go?
I went to a barbershop called Exquisites.
Before we get there.
Mm-hmm.
What made you want to move, get up, you and the family to Atlanta?
So that was during the real estate dilemma back in 06 to 08. So I had a couple of
Great Depression.
Yes, I had a couple of properties in Miami. What I paid for the properties and what they were offering me was too good to turn away. And I was done with Miami at that point in time anyway. I was like, okay, I'm good. And I used to come to Atlanta off and on. So I had developed a liking to Atlanta, had family here, and I decided to sell my properties. And I came out here with a good piece of change.
Right.
You know.
So that's around the time when I met you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So your first shop you worked in was
Exquisites, yes.
Was God bless his dead, Tony.
Tony Jones, yeah.
Tony Jones owned that shop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so that was the first shop you worked at.
Yeah.
Then I know shortly after that when we met, you ended up getting your own spot again off of
yeah. So I told
Grayson Highway.
Grayson Highway and Sugarloaf.
Grayson and Sugar.
So I told Tony Jones when I got there, I said, I'm only here for a year. Because I already knew I was going to open the shop. I just wanted to feel my way in Atlanta and build up a clientele. And I told him I was going to be leaving in a year. He was like, oh, okay, check man. He kind of brushed me off because he didn't believe. But I knew what I was going to do.
Right. That's when you met our good mutual friend, Forrest.
Forrest.
And a lot of other great guys.
Yeah, a lot of people I know to this day.
Forrest, Demir,
Clem, Forrest, yeah, Eric.
Clem still cut my hair too, between Clem and Forrest.
All right.
Still cut my hair.
But these all, I couldn't ask for a better group of good brothers coming out here. I really couldn't. Right. I couldn't put this together if I wanted to. It just happened. And I'm grateful for that.
Go be one over there, right?
No, but I met.
Go be with.
Go be work with me at our shop.
Oh, you came to your spot when you opened up. Okay.
In Grayson.
Okay.
Yeah. So I met a lot of good people out here, and I just love that whole Atlanta feel, you know, the whole black excellence, and I mean, you know, I've never been nowhere where black people excelled or had things like they do in Atlanta. New York,
Me either.
New York, they don't do that. Miami, they ain't do that.
Houston, they didn't do that.
So here was like, wow. Now you got fugazis in Atlanta. You got a lot of bullshit in Atlanta, but for the most part, Atlanta has been good to me. You just gotta understand Atlanta.
It's been good to me.
Right.
It's been very blessed to me.
Yes, it's been blessed.
Being from Houston,
Yeah.
very blessed. It is, now Houston is booming.
Mm-hmm.
But Houston is maybe, it's safe to say, 10, 15 years behind Atlanta. Now they're allowing minorities like us
Mm-hmm.
to own businesses.
To build up.
Versus when I moved down here back in June 1991,
Mm-hmm.
that wasn't happening.
Right.
When I came to Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
moved to Atlanta back in June 1991, that's when I seen, hey, this is the place to be because they're allowing us to have different things.
Right.
Versus Houston, and then you have to have a vision to be able to see that.
Exactly.
You understand? Now people, everybody move for different reasons. My reason for, I knew Houston only two ways
Mm-hmm.
for me, dead or in prison.
Right.
I didn't have no other ways. Cause
Well,
I
that-
grew up, like I say, in Houston, in South Park,
Uh-huh.
South Park, and then where I come from, VA, they call it some dishes out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they used to call it, because the way of living, that's the way we thought. And so I seen something different coming down here just to visit on a humbug
Mm-hmm.
with a good friend of mine, coming to pick up his kids. That's what got me here. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're here. You got your barbershop. You're married, happily married,
Mm-hmm.
5 kids, 1 in Panama that you don't know
Right.
nothing about at this time.
I do know. I know about
Well,
it.
you know about it, but wasn't for sure,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So now you're here. Got your shop. You go. How long you stay married? Let's just jump into it. Because they say in Atlanta, it's not a matter when you're in that age bracket, 20 and 30s. It's not a matter of if you get a divorce if you're married, but it's a matter of when.
Right.
Because the women is plentiful.
Mm-hmm.
You had something to do every day of the week,
Mhm.
and then, to my understanding, you got 7 days a week in every city and every state in America. But in Atlanta will go to its neighboring states like Florida,
Right.
South Carolina, Alabama, and borrowed days. So they gave us 10 days out. So every day, 10 days a week, you had something to do.
Yeah.
So you got caught up.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say this. It wasn't even about. I would say that me and my ex-wife moved from Miami to Atlanta, and I would say it kind of started in Miami, but
What started in Miami?
the decline.
Okay.
Like maybe right before moving here. But here did not help. Here made it worse.
Right.
And it made it worse because we got married young. We had kids young. When we got married, we didn't even know each other, let alone us as individuals.
You haven't had time to develop.
No.
And in my opinion, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I advise every man and every woman. I advise every man and every woman to marry when you know you got everything out your system. And I feel like the right age for marriage, to me, for black men. I don't know about no other color. It was white men, with Chinese men, with
Right.
Indian men. I don't know about them all.
Right.
I don't know about us.
Mhm.
'Cause that's blood. To get everything out your system, you start between 35 and 40.
Mm-hmm.
When you're mature enough to know what a family is. And some of us, you gotta be 40 plus.
Yeah. I agree.
Because men, like you say, we eat with the eyes and you see things.
Mm-hmm.
And Atlanta showed you a lot of beautiful women.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen all these beautiful women, but you have one woman.
Mm-hmm.
And when you wasn't disciplined enough, and then you only had one experience, I ain't saying you had one experience. You had meaning one experience married. You locked down. You didn't get to, as they say on Coming to America first one. You haven't sold your wild oats.
Right.
So you haven't gotten everything out you.
Right.
So you come here, been married. You come from young, going to prison. At what? 22.
I came up. I went to jail at 19.
Yeah, you went to jail at 19.
Came home at 22.
Came home at 22. You still young.
Of course.
Got 2 kids, vibrant.
Yeah.
You might have popped a couple things in your life, but hell, you still got a lot of oats to sow.
But I made up my mind when I decided to get married. Like literally.
Give me the bullshit.
At
22, yeah.
I'm gonna give you 1,100,000% of what I'm talking about.
I don't think nobody got that much percentage.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. In my mind,
yeah, I'm glad you said that.
In my mind, said, I'm gonna get married, and this for life. At that age. I said it at my mind. I'm telling you.
That's what every marriage say.
No. Yeah, but no. Some people get married to try shit out. I didn't get married to try shit out. I got married to be married with one person for life.
At 22.
In my head, yes. And
at 22.
Yes, at 22.
Come home from prison.
So I didn't have.
Come home from prison.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir. That was my mindset. And I didn't have a plan B. I only had a plan A. My plan A was to be married. So when divorce started creeping in, I had to start thinking about plan B, which I never thought about prior to. Never did. Right. And that might seem strange to some, but it wasn't strange for me, because for me, like I said, going back to my prison days, when I read that book 15 times, God and Family, in that hole.
What was the name of the book?
God and Family. I don't remember the author, but God and Family. When I read that, and I would say the only thing that kept me married was my commitment to God, not to my wife. My commitment to God first.
So what broke the commitment?
Well, damn, life.
Cheating had nothing to do with it?
Yeah, it did.
Why you just say shit?
Well, I'm not gonna tell you. But that's life though.
But you on Pointe Podcast. Yeah.
We're gonna keep it honest. We're gonna keep it 1,000.
To be honest, just say cheating.
Okay, cheating. Yes.
Other women.
See, why I gotta be on a man?
Huh?
You heard me.
What you say?
You heard me.
Say it again.
I said, why I gotta be on a man? Anytime a divorce come down or marriage fuck up, it's about the man fucked up.
No.
It don't have to be that.
No.
You said looking at other women.
No, I said fucking them.
Okay, same thing.
No, looking is one thing, fucking is another.
All right, but it's still on the man.
Women cheat too.
Okay.
They might cheat more.
Okay. All right. I'm not saying it's either or. I'm just saying don't put it on one or the other.
Man, you only hear. Don't be trying to twist the words, bro.
I ain't twisting the words. I just said what I said.
I was married once, so I got to have understanding.
All right. Good.
I mean, that's part of life.
It is part. That's what I said.
That's
I said life.
when we marry young, we have a tendency to not know what we want, and people marry for different reasons. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Different reasons, and I have understanding that. But you know, I was just going back to the thing about how they say in Atlanta, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And I think the man, before he make that decision, he needs to know that he's mature enough to carry out the commitment. That's the only thing I would say about it. And the majority, of course, you could say it's women, because a lot of women cheat, but we just talking about men at this point.
Okay.
So that's the only reason why I said the man, because we are talking.
Right.
The ex-wife is not here to defend and nor do what I want a woman to be here to defend when we talk.
Oh yeah, and it's
If
not.
you was talking to that woman, that'll be different.
Yeah.
You follow what I'm saying? So that's the only thing I'm saying. Because we can all give excuses to justify reasoning. But that's why I say only in my opinion.
Yeah.
And somebody might have a totally different opinion.
And it's the same. So Atlanta is a place of, in my opinion, I would say more so for men, of course, but even for women, Atlanta is a place of you can see what you want to see. You can kind of do what you want to do.
Like you said, we eat with the eyes.
Right.
But you know what I call Atlanta? I call Atlanta like I call the strip clubs of Atlanta. There's no better strip club than Atlanta that I've been to. From Houston to LA to DC.
And I will agree with you.
Atlanta, within itself, I call the den of iniquity.
I would agree with you.
It is truly the den of iniquity. And if you ain't strong enough, you will fall prey of the den that you play in. Get that what I'm saying?
I would agree.
And when you fall prey of that den that you play in, you normally fall short of glory. You follow what I'm saying? Because you get caught up to where you can't come back. You know, like the current suck you under and you drown.
Yeah, like
and you gotta send them lifeguards to jump down and find that dead body.
Like Lake Lanier.
That's how Atlanta is if you're not strong enough.
Yeah.
Cause I've seen in what I've been down here now, 32, I'm 53, I come down here 1991, I was 22, just turned 22. I'm 53 now, so I've been out here 31 years. In 31 years, I've seen so many people that I personally know come out here in this great city of Atlanta and move back. I've seen so many people come out here, they millionaires. They paper the fuck up. Liquid. I ain't talking about network.
Liquid.
Right? Under the table liquid. And fall short in that den. Because, like I say, you 7 days a week, but in Atlanta they got 10 days because they borrowing 3 a day from each of their neighboring states. You follow what I'm saying? And it's something to do every day. Before you know you're caught up, you're going back home. And that's how it is when you're out here and when you're married and you're not disciplined enough. You're getting out here in these streets, going out here, you're going to eat with your eyes. And then if you savvy enough, you don't got to do nothing with looks. If you got a conversation to give for gab and you got the laws of what we call attraction, people attract to you, especially women, then, and you ain't disciplined enough to turn it down, you're going to eat. And that eat, sometimes you eat might be too sweet where it fills your stomach off. You see what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. That's what Atlanta brings. A lot of marriages
It does.
in Atlanta for young black men. That's why they always falling short and end up in a divorce. Because you get married because you love this one individual. For whatever reason you fell in love with that particular individual. Or whatever business deal you got it. You got so much, 'cause, you know, marriage is a business. You got so much involved. So when you turn your head to the left, to the right, straight, forward, backward, you always see another attraction.
Let me ask you a question. You just said marriage is a business.
Right.
Did you always knew or know that marriage was a business? Or did you start off with marriage as I love you, you love me, let's get married, let's whatever?
No. Nobody taught me the laws of marriage. They don't teach us that, young black men. I don't know about nobody.
No, they don't. I mean.
So no, you think everybody married for different reasons. Somebody might marry that person because they got a child with them.
I'm talking about when you was young, or when
No, you don't know it's a business. You grow to learn that.
Okay,
first.
that's what.
Right.
Yes.
Because it's more of a business than it is a love thing. You know, just like everything, you fall in love, but if you don't like the person that you love, that shit gonna fade away.
Of course.
If you don't get along, can't communicate with the one you love, that shit gonna fade away.
Mm-hmm.
If you and that person don't enjoy each other's sex no more, that shit gonna fade away.
Right.
If you and that person don't have the same thing in common, that shit gonna fade away.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to have these tools to make sure in this business it gonna work. Like if you got good credit and that person got bad credit,
Mm-hmm.
that shit gonna fade away because you're responsible, that person is not.
Mm-hmm.
If you're clean and that person is dirty, that relationship gonna fade away.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all ain't yoked, equally yoked.
Right.
Equally yoked, they go by the spiritual thing. Oh, you gotta be equally yoked. But what the fuck is equally yoked? Equally yoked is y'all are on the same page.
Right.
In every aspect. And when you miss one,
Mm-hmm. One page.
you miss one, everything else gonna crumble.
Right.
Because you could be great financially,
Mm-hmm.
you could have great communication skills, you could love one another, you communicate, but if the sex bad, that woman gonna go somewhere else, or that man gonna go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You could have a great sex, financially stable,
Mm-hmm.
y'all can even communicate.
Mm-hmm.
But if the financial stability ain't there,
Mm-hmm.
that shit gonna fade away.
All right.
You like financially stable, you got a communication, you can have a trust.
Mm-hmm.
But you motherfuckers can't talk to each other. Communication now.
That's
so that
not
shit
fair.
won't fade. You gotta have everything. You gotta have that trust. You gotta have that communication.
Right.
You gotta have that good sex. You gotta be financially stable with one another.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have that love. You
Right.
follow what I'm saying? You gotta be able to be in sync with one another. In my opinion.
Right.
Follow me?
But not. You gotta love that person.
Fuck love.
No. Okay. No.
I'd rather be respected than love.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about being, because people talk about in love. Fuck in love.
Yeah, fuck that. You gonna love the person. I'm playing words when they use the word in love.
Right. I'm talking about love. I love a person. Not in love. That means I'm not moved based on feelings and emotion. I just have a loving respect for this person. And they have the same for me. I'm not moved off of emotions. That whole in love shit, that's kid shit, in my opinion. Because that's right. But as an adult, a grown man, grown woman, I could love you just because of who you are and how you move.
And what you are, how you treat.
Right, and how you treat me.
Right.
So I'm cool with that. I respect that. And I gotta like you. But that goes with the love as well. I gotta like you. Because if I don't like you, I can't deal with you on a day-to-day basis.
You keep missing that respect. Because I know people that love people that don't respect them. I know people that like people that don't respect them. I know people that communicate well, but one person don't respect the other.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. If I, as a friend to friend, brother to brother, I could love you but don't like you. I don't like your ways. I don't like your movements. In a relationship,
That's the only thing we talk about.
in a relationship, I gotta like you. I can't just love
That's
you.
what I'm
Yes.
saying. You got to like and respect.
Yes, got to like and respect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because when you respect them, you ain't gonna do nothing to hurt.
I got partners I love, but I don't really like how they move.
Right.
Period. I love you, or family members. I got family members I love you, but I don't like how you move.
We only strictly talking about
Relationships, yes. So in a relationship,
So we could go deep off into that.
yeah, in a
I got a
relationship,
lot of motherfuckers that I cool when you call you need me. But I don't
Yeah.
fuck.
Pointe Courier is a Georgia and Texas-based on-demand delivery service. We offer same-day, rush, and even direct drive delivery while guaranteeing top-notch, reliable, and quality service at the best competitive prices. Come try us out. Visit us at our website, pinpointcourier.com, or give us a call today for more information. Pinpoint, always pointing you in the right direction.
that's just what it is. I got to like you, you gotta like me.
Right, right.
Period.
Like and respect.
Right.
You
Like
gotta
respect.
like a person and want to be around.
Of course.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You gotta like a person, and then go back to what we was talking about, which is part of the business in a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all gotta want to go home to see each other, to miss each other.
Yes.
You gotta like each other enough to where you get in that bed and y'all want to cuddle.
Right.
To watch a movie together.
Of course.
You follow what I'm saying? You gotta like who you with. Because if you don't like who you with, that shit ain't gonna last. And if you stay in it for whatever reason you stay in it, it's just gonna become toxic.
Of course.
And then that's gonna fuck up the business part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the respect is gonna leave because somebody's gonna become disrespectful. And then that disrespect is gonna grow into a mold.
Mm-hmm.
The other person gonna explode.
Mm-hmm.
You follow what I'm saying?
Of
So
course.
before you go into that, and it all comes by, again, on how early we get into relationship. Follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The birth of that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta ask yourself, to go back to the business, to where we go back to where you come going out of the marriage. What caused that enmity, that separation, that heel, that bruise from the heel to the head, to where y'all separated? It's gonna be something that said where to go. What caused that demise? What was that seed that was planted to where now it's grown and it kept getting water and y'all didn't figure out you need to cut it down
I would say.
until it's too late?
I would say.
You follow what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and I would say usually, like you said, it boils down to respect or disrespect.
That's why I say I'd rather be respected.
Exactly.
Because
That's what
you ain't gonna plant no seed.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
if a seed planted, you gonna cut that, you gonna get that axe and cut it
It
down.
will always boil down in a marriage to me, disrespect or respect. And when that's not, when you see that happening, that starts the demise.
Every marriage that we know that happens, even a lot of celebrities,
Mm-hmm.
you see them, they love each other. And as they continue to grow, now they hate each other, calling each other out, telling each other secrets, showing each other,
Mhm.
doing all kind of shit.
Right,
To where the respect is gone, the gloves are off,
Mhm.
bare knuckle.
right.
That's why I say you gotta get with a woman, and a woman gotta get with a man when you know you are mature enough
Mm-hmm.
to handle the relationship to where no matter what happens,
Mm-hmm.
you won't take the gloves off and go bare knuckle with me. Because when you take the gloves off and go bare knuckle with me, you lost respect.
Mm-hmm.
And once you lose that respect, you're going to defend yourself as a
Right.
human being,
Of
being
course.
that woman being disrespected or that man being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And then the business aspect gonna take a different turn.
Right.
Because now the business goes into the attorney hand or to whomever hand to where y'all wanna resolve the issue yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Follow me? So that's why in my opinion, I feel like people should get married when they mature enough to handle a relationship and they got all the bullshit out of it. And you'll know you got all the bullshit out of it. Which brings us to this, your occupation came. You came down here.
Mm-hmm.
You opened up your barber shops,
Right.
you did everything, and then you got into the ED pill.
Yeah, I did.
Your pill, because I
Yeah.
support you,
Yeah.
you called the jackhammer.
Jackhammer Platinum.
I wish you would have brought up
I,
What made you get into that pill? To buy that pill? And I know it was a monetary reason.
It was, and it happened just by happenstance. It wasn't like I was looking to get in that business or anything like that. It was my same childhood buddy.
Right.
My same childhood buddy. I wasn't gonna light it now. Shut up. I just took it out.
That ain't no weed. You smoke weed. Can't smoke cigar.
It's good. I wasn't thinking about to light it. But anyway.
We can take some ice for what's it called? Can we get some ice, please? Okay, since
Yes.
Is this y'all's intermission?
No, we still talking.
This ping pong party, we do what we please.
We're just looking for ice, yeah.
Oh, y'all some meeting men in here, huh?
Can we get the big cube, please?
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
I was gonna see what
You want some more?
No, but go back.
Right.
Everybody wants mic. So let's go back here to the pills. Jackhammer. What made you want to get into the jackhammer business, the ED?
All right.
business?
So you keep saying, oh, all right. So I'm gonna correct you on something.
No, I call it ED because that's what God wants.
All right. But my pill is not an ED pill. My pill is an enhancement, and it's called Jackhammer Platinum.
I did it like twice, so I'll do it again.
ED is for people with what it is. It's problems. Now my pill will deal with problems, but it was never made for problem people. It was made as an enhancement, like a turbo to your already good running engine.
Right.
Right. It's all natural, made in America. I started it about probably 6 years ago. And
And you got it in gas stations?
yeah, everywhere.
And when you started, remember I bought the first case?
Yes.
I don't know about the first case, but
You was damn near one of them.
Yeah, I bought it and then I spread them out.
Right.
I always support my people. One of my good friends in Houston, Churchill, he wrote a book. This is actually a great book. A lot of women disagree because they feel like you might be arrogant, but I don't. Just to tell the truth. Don't call it out of business. I bought a couple cases and I spread it out throughout Atlanta and a lot of other places that I've been. A lot of other places. Like I said, it's a great book. So I support my friends. Like I support you.
Right.
So when I bought it, I spread it out. I spread the love. The enhancement love that you call it. I bought it just to give away.
Right.
You know what I mean? But some people had great reports, some people didn't. However, what made you want to create an enhancement pill? Let's just call it what it is. Can you call it what it is?
Yeah.
A dick pill.
Yeah, it's a big pill.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
it is?
So my partner, who I told you about, me and him used to ride around the neighborhoods
Right.
and look at homes and be like, how are these people doing what they doing? He was the one who worked. He had a separate job. He had he went to college, everything, had a job, but then he started working with a company that manufactured. And he was like, He saw the profit revenue. He was like, I could do this shit myself. And then he put some shit together with a chemist, told me about it, and I was like, okay, that sounds like something. I started to do my research and think about it, and I said it sounds like something I would want to be a part of.
Right.
And we went from there. But he was the originator of the whole situation.
Right.
He brought me in while he was in the process of doing what he was doing, and I
You
agreed.
helped market it.
No, at that point in time, he didn't market nothing.
I say you helped market it.
Yes, but he did his own thing, and I did my own thing, but we still manufactured together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we
That a lucrative business?
very lucrative business
You
because
got it in gas stations throughout Atlanta, right?
it's yes, in Texas, Florida, New York, Georgia, everywhere,
Wow.
overseas.
See, that's that creative mind. So it goes all the way back to you always that entrepreneur spirit.
Of course,
And you always thought about, you had to have your pills to where somebody had to see them and you had to have them planted in a real estate property, in a store,
right,
in a gas station, somewhere where somebody pick them up. You know what I'm saying? So you always had that entrepreneur spirit.
of course, from day one. I've I've never worked for anybody from.
Hold on, I'm just trying to figure out why your hookah smoke better than my shit.
I don't know. You might need some more coals in yours. But
I ain't hooking my shit up.
I ain't work. The last real job I had was when I came home from prison back in '94, and I worked telemarketing for 1 month.
1994.
And they told me, "This the best you gonna do?" I said, "No, it ain't." And I quit.
Right. And you ain't look back.
I ain't look back.
Will you ever get married again?
I would never say never, but I do understand now. Marriage is a contract. Marriage is a business.
Yeah.
So
sacred.
It's safe, but it's sacred at the same time. Of course.
Sacred.
It's all
sacred
those things.
business.
Yes.
And you gotta oblige the contract.
Of course.
It's a sacred business.
So yes.
You gotta make sure you're ready for that contract that you enter.
With that being said, yes, I would get married again.
I think marriage is a beautiful thing. You just gotta make sure you marry the right person. Cause there's some people, I know a couple in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
They've been married a good 70 years. They, of course, today, matter of fact, one of them today is their birthday. They turned 99 today. Shout out to Mr. Evans. They've been married for a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So marriage can work. It's just today's marriages, we marry young and we continue to eat with our eyes, meaning we want what we see. You follow me? So
right.
Therefore, you know how your mom used to say, you want your plate full because you just see that.
Right.
You ain't gonna eat all that shit.
Exactly.
That's how
right.
it is. When we see, when women see men and when men see women, you eating with your eyes.
Your eyes bigger than your stomach is what we say. Your eyes bigger than your stomach.
Bigger than your stomach, and it's something that you don't want and capable of handling.
Right.
But you think you can handle in your mind because a great price come with that on both ends.
Right. But do you think that marriage today, in terms of, we could look at our age, because we in our 50s,
right.
We grown, and hopefully the women that we deal with, they grown, they know. Well, we talking about the young generation, the feminist movement, the whole
Me Too
movement,
Man.
the whole. But that's the age group. That's the stage where they at in their life in terms of what they think marriage
I
is.
think they fucked up relationship.
Okay.
Me, I'm blessed. I'm blessed with a very good woman.
I know you. I know you have.
I don't have that issue. I could just talk about it from past experience.
Right.
But since you brought up the Me Too women,
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with a lot of them.
So do I.
Because you ain't supposed to convince me that you say you was drugged 30 years ago and you don't remember nothing, but today you remember it. You ain't supposed to convince me that this man touched you inappropriately or call you beautiful, or like they did with the mayor, the governor of New York, Cuomo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just because he told a woman one of the Me Too move, the man who's single
Mm-hmm.
simply asked the woman, "Are you into dating older men?" How in the fuck is that a Me Too movement? He found you attractive. He felt that you might want to date an older man. He's single. He ain't fucking married.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all turned that shit into a Me Too. But I don't agree with that. I once had 3 women that used to work for me, all called me at 1 something in the morning back in the day when I was married.
Mm-hmm.
And I was laying in bed with my baby at that particular time. She might have been 1 year old or less, laying on my chest.
Mm-hmm.
Cause he hold my baby all the time. And my wife, she goes side of me. And I got a phone call on my home phone. And these women all called me. I answered the phone, so she pick up the phone. You know, I still got our phone.
Right.
Called me hey, Miss Benefit, it's such, I don't call him, man. Such. I said, what's going on? Why y'all all calling me? Well, we just want to talk to you about your employee. They've been sexually harassing us. They've been doing this. He's been doing he's been doing this. He's been doing that. So that alarmed me. I mean, I got business.
Right.
I always had attorneys to represent my company. I learned that through educating myself.
Right.
That's why I say another game. There's nothing in the game. But anyway, so boom. The next morning, I contacted my attorneys. Explained to them, they told me what to do. They created a sexual harassment policy. To this day, I have in place for my businesses. Everybody got to sign a section, even my daughter. Everybody.
Right.
Because if somebody bothers you, you need to tell me now. Don't do no Me Too shit 10 years later. I ain't gonna fucking believe it.
Right.
Fuck that. You know what I mean? So anyway, when they did that, I called them in. They were per the guidance of my attorney. I called them in the office. Called the gentleman who was accused. And come to find out, not knowing they were Me Too motherfuckers, they told their story, and the gentleman was like, y'all used to bust in the bathroom with me. Y'all want to see how big I am, how this and this and this and this. Is that true? Yes, yes, yes. So how the fuck y'all gonna disturb my rest at my motherfucking house with my baby laying on my chest?
Right.
To tell me somebody that y'all harassing y'all. So I've experienced. It's only a Me Too move when you can find it profitable or beneficial to your pocket, or that you don't like this person. So I understand the Me Too movement if it's truthful, but I believe a lot of these women lie about Me Too movement because, first of all, how the fuck you remember that shit from 30 years ago when you say you didn't remember then? Why didn't you report it when it happened? So I instruct my woman. My woman can't never come and tell me a man bothered her. 5 days later, let's go 5 years.
Right.
Because I would say, why the fuck you ain't tell me when it happened? And why you telling me in secret? Tell me in the presence of that man to let me know that it's truthful. My daughter, love her dearly, will kill for her instantly.
Right.
Follow?
I know.
She better not come tell me somebody bothered her 10 years ago. And then I said what they do. Well, they said I was cute and they asked me would I date them. Why the fuck is that a Me Too movement? Now, I'm not talking about rape.
Right.
Because I can understand that to mess with a person.
Right.
I'm not talking about molestation.
Right.
I'm talking about the Me Too motherfuckers who sit up here and say, well, he touched me. I don't want to say the words I want to say. I'm going to say, come on, female. I really want to say the other thing when we call a female dog.
We're not going to do that.
You know, damn, you need to do it on my podcast. You can, just because you say we ain't going to do it, fuck it.
No, you can't. This is your podcast. You do what you want to do.
But listen.
I'm a guest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow your lead.
As a matter of fact, I ain't talking about to no woman but a live woman. Because live woman can cry like a hit dog and then she hit dog. Bitch, how the fuck you remember that? You ain't remember this shit 30 years ago, 10 years ago, less than 5 minutes ago. Why you want to tell me now, what's your monetary gain?
Right.
I can't accept what you telling me.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? Especially when I see, because I watch CNN, I watch the news.
Right.
How you gonna say a man said, are you into older women? How the fuck is that a Me Too movement? Grab a woman by her cheeks and kiss her on the cheek. How the fuck is that a Me Too? That was inappropriate. That's chivalry, motherfucker.
But
that's what men did back in the day.
But it's been
called you attractive, called you cute, respected you.
It's been weaponized.
Asked you, are you into dating older women? Not being disrespectful, but asking a question. A question becomes a Me Too movement. So that's why I don't give a fuck about.
But we living in different times right now.
Yeah, fucked up times.
Right. We living in a whole different era, and I just feel like I just gotta pray for my kids and my grandkids
like
in terms of where we going.
I feel like my hookah is just jacked out because I've been trying to get the hookah girl hint. She ain't got the hint yet, but go ahead. You feel like what?
We just in different times right now, you know. So how I look at marriage now, and how I looked at marriage then is totally different. Now, I still have a great respect and love, because I think marriage is a beautiful thing. I will never change. I will never change my marriage. I don't have no regrets.
Right.
Put it that way.
We can't have no regrets at a young age.
But moving forward.
It's a learning lesson.
Yes, but moving forward, I would look at marriage differently. Do I have to have a love and a loving respect for my spouse? Of course I do. Back at me? Of course she does. But it is a business, and I never looked at marriage as a business prior to my divorce. But everything in life we do is a business.
And that's why I told you earlier, I don't believe nothing is a game. A lot of people say, let me give you the game, and the game is, and I learned the game and somebody taught me the game. Ain't nothing a fucking game. It's business. Because at the end of the day, you need to understand business.
It's a business.
Because everything we do in life, even when you're applying for a job, it's a business that you're applying for that job to. You follow what I'm saying? I don't play games. I told you games easy.
I even thought about
life don't until you in the ground.
I don't know where I'm at with this, but I thought about it. Because I heard it being spoken about before. Like, why marriage can't be a contract? Well, marriage is a contractual agreement, of course.
In America?
Yes. But why can't marriage be, and this is just a thought. I'm not saying I'm there, but I'm saying, you know how you got a contract for a certain amount of time, and you revisit and you see whether or not people met the contractual agreement, and then you say, well, nah, you ain't meet it, I ain't meet it.
I thought I had a contractual agreement with the hookah.
Right. It was a thought in my head, like, well, damn, that kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like, we made a contract. You not fulfilling your agreement, I'm not, or I am, you're not. Let's dissolve this. Because somebody...
America, there are so many contractual agreements that's broken, and like bad credit motherfuckers walking around trying to fix it.
Right.
And find somebody else to fix their bad credit. All you have to do is commit to a contractual agreement that you signed.
Right.
And if you knew you weren't ready for that contractual agreement, for that note that you signed for, just like that marriage, don't enter it. Mm-hmm. Because it goes back to you eating with your eyes. You see something that you think you want. Just like that car. Just like that credit card. Just like that house. But you know you can't afford that shit. Mm-hmm. And then you get somebody, you want somebody to fix your credit because you broke your contractual agreement and couldn't pay it. And then you blame it on others, and you want to fuck the system by having somebody to raise your credit, fix your credit. You got all these motherfuckers on there. Fix your credit, fix your credit, fix your credit. You can pay your motherfucking bills. Mm-hmm. Or negotiate your bills down. Stop trying to get your raised. That's like in a marriage. In a marriage, what people try to do, they bring up excuses to justify their bullshit reason on why. But the why comes from the planted seed. The planted seed came from when you started to disrespect and disliking something that your other had. Mm-hmm. And then you forget about the contractual agreement to death do us motherfucking part. And nigga, I don't like you no more. Well, bitch, I don't like you no more. And then that's where it goes rolling down. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
Because that contractual agreement is supposed to be right.
But that till death do us part.
And if something happens, we supposed to work it out. Just like if you in a contract with purchasing a house or buying a car. Mm-hmm. Hey, okay, I might get a late, but I'm gonna still fulfill this obligation. Right now, I'm just fucked up. I'm between jobs, but I'm gonna pay it. Mm-hmm. And then you complete it and you can pay it off. You get your deed to your house, you get your title to your car, and you pay off this credit card down to zero balance. Same thing with a marriage. You gotta stick in there. You gotta rough out. You gotta stick through the bad times. And you can't just give up. and say, hey, man, fuck this, I'm out this contract. That's what a lot of people do, and they don't understand that's a business agreement that you made.
Well, look, the thing.
But when you're young, you don't know nothing about that, especially people from my era, meaning black.
And we the same era.
I don't, exactly. You know, I don't know where people from. Some people might have been raised with a mom and a dad. I haven't.
Me either.
I was raised with my mother. God,
Me too.
Dead. You follow me? And certain things we wasn't taught.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I have the understanding now to respect marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people all the time, who the fuck want to die old by themselves?
Nobody.
You want to be in a relationship with somebody that love and respect you and that y'all can get along with.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you won't go old by your motherfucking self and don't nobody know who bury your ass.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying? So it's marriage. But you know, we get into that. So let's talk about, go back to the pills. I don't know how the fuck we got there. But it started from the pills you did. I got the pills too.
Well, so yeah, I got into the pills based on my childhood buddy.
We stop right there. We're gonna take one more break before we come back.
Introducing to you Pinpoint Foundation's Real Estate Lounge, a unique experience in all things real estate and other business ventures. Pinpoint is an expansive company that is driven to put our customers' best interests first in all aspects. From commercial and residential real estate representation, where we do closings here at the office, to our 501c3, mentoring and nonprofit events, filming productions, and courier services, come let Pinpoint point you in the right direction and experience business better than you have before. We're not a regular real estate company, we're a cool real estate company. Visit us on our websites, pinpointbrokers.net and pinpointfoundation.org, and check us out on our social media platforms. Pinpoint Foundation is always accepting donations through Zelle to Pinpoint Foundation or through mail-in checks. See you soon.
All right then. Chill. Hey, big toast, baby boy.
You wanna try it?
Yo, you can't hear?
Yes, sir.
Pointe Podcast, we coming back at you. Speaking with Mr. John Bishop.
Yeah.
Talking about life. We done traveled from Panama prison. Well, we done traveled from Brooklyn, New York, to Miami, Florida, to Panama, then Panama prison, back to Miami.
Don't forget DC, and I've lived in DC and moved around DC.
Well, I can't
We don't-
remember
all
the
right.
cities you ain't mentioned, but
I
now
know. All right.
we ain't traveled DC, so we gotta travel out to, for me to speak.
That's the next podcast with Mayor Marion Barry,
Well,
all that during that
that's
era.
something you should talk about now. Now
Oh,
we talk
shit.
about the Lincoln. You was fucking with my mic. This shit was fine. Oh, I know, engineer or somebody. There we go. Alright, let's talk about. Anyway, we did our travel.
Yeah.
From Miami, now we in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
We went to Atlanta, we talked about the barbershop, we talked about the enhancement pills, we going on marriages.
Right.
We're gonna talk about marriage. Had another podcast outside of this podcast about relationship. So now we're supposed to get into basically going on about
Real estate.
how Atlanta been treating you, and going on to what's your next future endeavors that you want to look into. I know you came to me because I do commercial real estate.
Right.
You kind of mentioned something about a bar that you have an interest in, or
Mhm.
you and your buddies have an interest in. A bar that we frequent as well. We
Sure.
won't call out the name.
Sure.
But going back, since you've already been a part of real estate, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
So let's talk about this bar
Right.
and why you want an interest in this bar.
So I would say this, like, first and foremost, I've always had an interest in real estate. Real estate has always been a passion.
Since 1996, right?
Yes.
3 barbershop in a home, a couple homes.
A couple homes, several homes. And real estate and just owning property, period. To me, owning property is like the number one foundation to building wealth in life.
Right.
Period.
A lot of people on that building wealth, real estate. A lot of people talking about they can teach people about real estate.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people ain't done shit in real estate, but getting people to give them money,
Right,
and they don't have nothing, no idea,
right,
and don't have no projects going on. So a lot of people getting taken in the real estate industry who don't have the actual knowledge, but somebody with a slick enough tongue with a can of oil,
right,
taking money from them. They taking money from people in small portions where you don't see it, where you don't feel it,
right.
but it's making them millions because
You
a
don't,
million people give you $100 in what you have.
yeah,
You follow what I'm saying?
I do.
So that's what a lot of people do. So when you're talking about investing in real estate, in commercial real estate, you either going, if people don't realize, even when you lease a building,
Mm-hmm.
that's an investment.
Sure.
Even on whether you buy it or whether you lease it. You want to say, well, lease it, you ain't own it. Well, if you purchase a commercial building, typically you do a 120-month lease, 10-year lease. I mean, not a 10-year lease, but a 10-year purchase. You might can get 180. Very few lenders out there might give you 30 years. And you don't want to never take a 30-year mortgage out on a business, on a property that is zone commercial, because you never pay it off.
Right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do it in 10 years, 15 max. However, the place that you're looking into right now, y'all came to me and said something about, first they wanted, what, 400,000?
It was 400,000 without the franchise name.
Okay, we don't mention no.
And it was 600,000 with the franchise name. That was like,
A couple years
Probably,
ago, about
yeah.
4 years ago.
yeah,
And I advised against it.
yes,
And then recently, it then dropped from 600 to 400 to now $250,000.
yes,
And I advised against it.
yeah.
And you know I advise against it.
Well, explain, because I mean, I know, but in my mind, I'm looking at, okay, if you could provide the paperwork, meaning the, what's your annual revenue, how much you making yearly, and if that makes sense to me, if you're making, because back then, you have to show whatever you're selling it for, you have to be able to show receipts that you making that or more per year to sell it for that amount. And back then, when it was 4 to 6, he was willing to show 600,000. I mean, 600,000 revenue for the year to justify selling it for that amount.
Well, here's the thing about purchasing a business that has a commercial lease.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing you want to get into, even before you get into that books and records, you want to get into that lease, see how long that lease is.
Mm-hmm.
Because their lease might be ending in the next year.
Right.
Or they might have inside that lease a clause where they can't sublet out the building
Mm-hmm.
unless they're going into default, or they can't transfer the lease
Right.
if the business is doing prospering.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta look into the lease to see what the lease state they can and can't do, because they don't own the building. For one.
Right. Right.
For number two, just say the rule of thumb is saying if a building, what you're talking about, you want to know what they doing their gross annual sales.
Yeah.
Not what they netting, but what their annual sales, because a person could write off all their sales to show zero for tax purposes.
Sure.
So we want to talk about your real gross annual sales and what you actually reported,
Gotcha.
because that's what you want to purchase out of. So let's say if they say they gross annual sales, and you do what we call a 4506C or a 4506T, and you pull the tax records, tax transcript, they provide them to you, or you pull them, to give you permission to you can pull them. That if they doing $1 million, the rule of thumb, you could sell it 3 times that, so that's 3 million. So when you say somebody's asking you for something for 600,000, and it's approved, and they give you a franchise, you got to look at that. So basically, you say your sales is nothing but 200,000, right? So that's not a strong enough business, but because that's not showing none of the write-off. Then you got to see what the franchise fees are. Then you got to see if that franchise could carry over. Then if that location has a liquor license, typically in Georgia, that liquor license is not transferable. So now they're selling you something that has a liquor license that they're going to have to pull because they're no longer the business owner.
Right.
Follow me? So now you got to get a liquor license for that location because the liquor license belongs to the business, not to the individual.
Which might take you some time to acquire.
Forget the time about acquiring. Of course, it's going to take that, but the point I'm saying is all of that's taking away the value of that sale.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now they even want to move from 600 to 400 down to $250,000. So now you got to ask yourself, is the equipment included? And just say the equipment is. What's the value of the equipment? You got to add the depreciation. Then you got to go in there and see if that equipment is even worth giving this amount of money for.
Exactly.
Then you got to find out when is your lease up. Because if your lease up, and just say, give you an example, we in August. If your lease up in September, October, November, December, you only got a couple of months, 1 to 3, 4 months max on the lease. So you can wait them out and renegotiate or get somebody like Pinpoint to represent you on getting that lease space.
Right.
Because then you want to get it for what the landlord is leasing it out for. You follow what I'm saying? So then you want to get in what the landlord is leasing it out for. Then after you do that part, say that's together, then what's the value of the equipment? If the equipment ain't worth shit, why you gonna give them $250,000?
Right.
You follow me? So when you purchase a business when they don't own the real estate, you gotta make sure you understand what you're purchasing. Because you could be just giving some money away. You don't know if they're underwater.
Right.
And when you will purchase a business, somebody offer you something where they see you a frequent patron, meaning you're always there. So they are observing what you're spending, what your buddy's spending, what y'all doing.
Right.
They're observing that you probably not being a businessman. No disrespect. So they say, well, I can dump this off on them. Because they here all the time. They love the place. You thinking it can make money because you there all the time. But you ain't thinking about everybody else who's there.
Right.
What they paying. Are they spending money like y'all spending? You follow me? How frequent do they frequent?
But if you
Hold on.
okay, go ahead.
You gotta look at all of this.
Yeah.
So when you go to purchase a business or that particular business, you gotta look at all, just like any other business, the pros and the cons. And why I advise against it, because that lease is probably getting ready to expire for one.
Right.
The equipment dirty as fuck, you don't want it, you're gonna revamp the whole place for two.
Right.
For number 3, the liquor license don't come with it, so now you gotta get somebody to get the liquor license with the business. Because if they gonna keep the liquor license there, so they gotta sell a percentage of the business, where they hold a certain percentage, where they can keep the liquor license. Then you gotta see what's the franchise fee is that you say you gonna transfer over to me. Then you gotta see if they're gonna allow you to do that same photo. To see that, do that same business there, because they might say, well, we don't want to franchise to you, because you might want to sell fish in this, but we about chicken in this. So you got so many narratives that's in the part of the business. I feel like the business that y'all brought to me on several different occasions is not a good business investment, because that person don't own the business for one, you ain't seen the real books for two. The equipment is regular as fuck for 3. And for 4, he talking to y'all because y'all are patrons of the business, and he feel that he can dump some shit on y'all.
Right.
Because he feel that y'all don't know nothing. In my opinion, through observing. So that's why I say I wouldn't touch that.
So what would be
we just talking about that deal.
Hypothetically, yes. If I see the potential for the business based on location, based on the amount of revenue or the amount of customers they get on a daily basis every week, what would be a good negotiation tactic for that business going forward?
The best negotiation tactic for that particular place,
Well,
but you gotta let me answer.
I am. That's what I'm saying. Again, reiterating. The business, the location, because the location
I understand how you're very well.
good. Okay.
You know, these lights good too.
I know they good.
But here's what I'm trying to explain to you. Again, don't interrupt me.
I won't. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
Here
See, dang.
what I'm trying to say is, this particular business, any business, first of all, is location, 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 location.
Right.
That's number one in any commercial business.
And that's a good location.
That's number one. No, it's not a good location. It's a great location.
Right.
But number two, it's not a good business because you don't own it, it's run down, you gotta invest in too much money for it, and you don't know if the landlord is gonna lease to you or allow them to lease to you because that lease is running out.
Okay.
There's no security, so the best negotiation would be you hold the lease, add us, give you a percentage of the business where we can maintain the liquor license here. You turn over all your assets and I give you a percentage of the business, but I ain't giving you shit up front. Well, I need this. I understand that. You get it over time. You follow what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta know how to negotiate a deal. Because when you go into any commercial real estate, you want to make sure you're making a profit moving forward when you enter it. Understand what I said? A profit moving forward when you enter it.
I get it.
Not to catch up with it because it's a lease and you're purchasing a business. If you're going to keep the same name, that's great. Okay, but now you got to change the paperwork to show that what interest of it that you have. Now you got to go to the bank accounts that's already open that they control. You got to be able to control it or start new bank accounts. You understand? My opinion, based off of my years of experience, I would get into checking out how far are they into or out of their lease. Find out if their lease is about to expire. That's the first thing you need to find out.
Of course.
Once you find out where you at with the lease, just say he got 5 more years. Okay, you're in a good place now. Now we can talk about $250,000. But before we get to that $250,000, what's included with this $250,000? You follow me?
Right.
Are you including this liquor license? You holding it? You letting it stay here? Or holding a percentage of it? You follow me? All the equipment that might be worth $20,000, you including that? So basically, you selling me the business at this point. In the business, you say you get the $250,000, so it's the business sales only. $250,000, just say $50,000, $70,000 a year. You follow me?
Right.
Because you want to see what they selling, what they most selling. And then you got to get up there. It was me. I need to sit up here for a good, whole, solid month. And get into that solid month so I can watch the sales. Because that's what you do. And they should allow you to do that because any other business owner would allow any person buying a business.
Right, to watch the sales.
Watch the sale. So they can't, what we call, cook the book.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? So when you step into that adventure, to that next business, you want to make sure you're knowledgeable of. And that's why you should come to Pinpoint, because we're going to point you in the right direction.
Well, I already know Pinpoint do what it do. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're on the podcast. You got to tell me that. You got to be specific.
Well, let me say this.
Both or one?
It's both.
Are you confused?
Not at all.
Well, I thought you said for the podcast.
I'm here for the
I
podcast.
didn't know you was talking about business.
I'm here.
But all things is real estate. So
Sir.
I'm fucking with you, baby.
I know you are, but sir, I'm here because I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness and I need to learn what you've been doing for a long time. And why not come to a source that's been doing shit for a long time? Now, we done had conversations about everything and everything.
Do that.
But we having a conversation about this right now, and I look to you as an expert in your field.
I like it.
Okay.
What makes a person an expert?
When you do something over and over and over and over and over again, and you do it by trial and error, and get better over time, that, in my opinion, that makes you an expert.
That's true, that. And I consider myself, having more than 10,000 plus hours, I do consider myself as an outlier
Right.
in business. Because
And you had failures, and you've grown.
I
And
did a whole podcast on failure. Before you have success, it don't have nothing to do with you. It's inevitable for it not to happen. You must have failure. You must have a defeat, and you must greet that defeat and that failure,
Mhm.
so you can learn from it. You understand what I'm saying? So in this business, 'cause I won't call it a game, but in this business, yes, I have been honored to be met with failures and defeat. However, I didn't get myself knocked down. I stayed up riding the horse. You follow what I'm saying?
I got you
But
1,000%.
what makes a person an expert in the business, like you stated great, wisely, correctly, is the tenure that you're in it, and
Mm-hmm.
you go through your trials and your tribulation, and you endure the one thing,
Exactly.
is the up, down, high, lows, woes, and folds of it.
Mm-hmm.
And you endure it. Like I've been in the business, like I said, I went to school back in real estate back in 1992.
Mm-hmm.
Started off at Houston Community College and went throughout. In Houston Community College in Houston, Texas, where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
Then go to other school. However, I seen the greatness of it when I got into it. Wasn't too many of it in it, meaning black folk, for sure. Wasn't too many black folk in the shit when I got in it. Then I got into it when it got oversaturated with us. Then I was still into it when 2008. I seen 2008 coming. I used to tell my employees when I had a staff over 30 employees, telling them, hey, listen, don't do no IO loans, interest only. Don't do no NINA loan, and no income, no asset. Don't do no asset loans. You follow me? To people who buy a home, that's their primary home, because they're gonna go into foreclosure and it's gonna drive the market down, which is right there and then. Same thing I'm saying in commercial real estate. Now that I got into commercial real estate, what I try to advise people through experience, because a lot of people I see on podcasts, not saying nothing negative about them, however, a lot of them haven't actually had the experience. Because when you pull them up, they ain't really into that what they saying. They just figure out a way on how to hustle people out of money.
Right.
But
They're the gift of God.
right.
They ain't got no history behind them. Just
They just a hustle.
a hustle. Yeah.
Right. But in the business, based on my experience, when you purchasing something, like I stated to you before, you want to make sure you, what they say, cross your T's and dot your I's.
Right.
You want to make sure if they lease this space, what all they can do to start off with the lease. Now, let's say if they own the building and they selling you the real estate and the business, the real estate is worth this, and of course you're gonna get appraisal on it, and then they want $250,000, $250,000 for the business. Now you purchase the real estate, but how much is the actual business worth? And if the real estate exceeds the sale of both the real estate and the business, that's not a good deal, but a great deal. Because you walking into it, like I stated earlier, with equity, with a win.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a great deal. Because it doesn't matter what you sell the business for. If you selling me the building for $500,000, it get appraised at $250,000, or it get appraised at $1 million when you walking into your money.
Right.
So I'll give them $250,000 quickly. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what you have to understand when you're buying a business or a building or both. You follow what I'm saying? So you're saying that's your next endeavor that you're looking into. Now how you know you're gonna run a bar or a restaurant just because you're a patron? Because you gotta remember, if you got the waitress giving you free drinks or discounted drinks, and hooking up your people, you don't own the place if you don't care. Would you have that same waitress working for you when you know what she did for you? Could you trust her when she stole from her previous boss and she gave to you? You gotta know, because that could happen to you.
Great question, but I'm not him.
No, I didn't ask you that.
No, let me explain.
Would you fire that person? Would you keep them on? When that same person gave you free drinks? It's yes or no.
No.
Why? So that's selfish, so you selfish.
No. Because there's a gray area in between them.
Give me the gray.
I'm telling you right now. So, all right.
I gotta have a drink on that shit, but you can give me some bullshit.
No, I ain't gonna give you no bullshit. I'm gonna give you real live shit.
Give me some real bullshit. I'm with it.
All right, so listen.
You get free drink, but you won't get free drink. Go ahead, kick it.
No.
Yeah.
I will give
Comps.
Yeah, because if I know that
Don't play with the words. That ain't what I asked you.
What you asked?
Let me be perfectly clear.
Be clear again.
We ain't playing no games here.
We ain't playing no games. Do what you again.
What I stated, you got a person at this particular time, at this particular place, just giving you an example.
Right.
Giving you free drink, giving your homies free drink, giving everybody free drinks, discounting the liquor prices and everything. You buy this place, right? When you buy this place, now this same person that you know is giving away this liquor, basically stealing from the previous owner, her boss. Would you keep them on?
I might.
Then you can trust them.
And I'm gonna tell you why I might.
I ain't asked you that. Can you trust them? Now they work for you. Now it's your money.
Exactly.
It's your money that's buying food. It's your money that's paying the electricity. It's your money that's paying the employees. It's your money that's paying for this equipment that's inside this place. It's your money that you putting out that you trying to recoup before you can see a profit.
And I probably will keep them. You know why? You know why I'll keep them? I'll keep them because you know that I know what you've been doing. And it has to make sense, it has to make dollars and cents to me. Now, I'm not saying you can't comp people
That ain't coming. That's still it.
But I'm
There ain't no buts.
no. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying if you working for me now, you working for me, and you got regulars.
So it's okay to do it while she ain't working for you, or he ain't working for you, or while they ain't working for you.
It gotta
It's easy as you know.
Welcome to the new townhome residence coming soon, Pointe Park. These modern luxury units will be located on Butner Road in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, just minutes away from the downtown area and the Hartsfield-Jackson Airport. The 7 units will include an open floor plan, rooftop patio, 3 bedrooms with 2 masters, and so many more luxurious details. For more information on Pinpoint Foundation's latest development, please visit pinpointfoundation.org. And for interest in pre-sales, please visit our website, pinpointbrokers.net. We hope your new home awaits you.
I get that. I understand that 1,000%.
Are you sure?
I'm positive I understand that.
I ain't probably let you understand, but go ahead.
I understand it, sir. But I'm still saying, I'ma still say that you gotta look at it from, we ain't talking about no,
I ain't gotta look at shit. From my perspective only, if I buy a bar, a restaurant, a club, a AC place, or anything, and that particular individual is stealing, I'm firing you after the purchase is complete if you're still an employee. I'm firing you. Because you ain't gonna convince me in no other word that you're not gonna steal from me and I'm special.
all right, so let's change it up a little bit different. So if that employee, right, brings in just their aura, their presence brings in maybe shit,
Let's say $100,000
$100,000
a year.
a year
Good.
to your business, right? Your average employee brings in $50,000, $60,000 a year.
Let's take it down. Let's just say 40.
Okay, 40. That one bringing in $100,000 a year, yes, they do give drinks to their certain customers because that's how they bring in their customers, because their customers bring in more customers. Are you gonna be like, oh fuck that, because you the new owner?
Get this
You the
little
new- I'm just saying, you the new
Get a
owner.
little thing.
Now I know you
On my
don't.
phone.
I know you want to know that that's what you're doing. That employee, you want to know that's what they're doing.
Let me answer the question.
Go ahead.
She fired. You know why?
Okay.
First of all, if you bring in at $100, what you taking? You gotta think about that.
I get it.
And then, if the people who honestly bringing in $40,000, maybe they being deprived of bringing in more because you taking the rest of the earnings that they can bring it in because you stealing they not. Because if you giving me $100, what the fuck is you taking from me?
20. I don't know.
So I should let you get away with 20,000?
I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you the hypothetical. I'm giving you the hypothetical.
Listen.
I'm giving you the hypothetical.
Listen, and I'm giving you education.
And I
I'm trying
appreciate
to
it.
educate you.
And I appreciate
If
it.
a motherfucker stealing from you, fire.
So my thing is, it's not that they, no, my thing is, it's not that they've been stealing. They were stealing before you got, back to the original question. We're not talking about you, we're talking about what they did, and now you looking at what you in this new business and talking about negotiating.
Are you saying I should keep a thief?
I'm not saying do anything. I'm saying,
Sound like that.
no, I'm saying
Yeah.
that you have somebody that you could either dismiss or utilize, period.
Hey, we're gonna call this a Pointe Podcast stalemate.
Good.
Chess. And it really not a stalemate because it's a checkmate, but
This ain't no, because the,
There's a lot of confusion
the bishop is always kind of good, the bishop.
this bishop is bad. This bishop is bad.
Look,
One thing you got,
cheers my brother.
look,
Cheers, my
one
brother.
thing I can see we can't come to agreement with. I ain't never gonna let a person who's stealing from somebody I buy their business and keep them on as employees and think that they won't steal from me. They're fired.
Okay.
Period, point blank.
And they probably should be, but they might
Probably?
be they might be a utilized
A utilized thief.
asset to
How
a,
can you be an asset when you're stealing?
they ain't steal from you, they stole from them.
Wow. That's why I will fire them and I give them the hope of opportunity. No Reverend Jackson keeping hope alive that they won't steal from me.
They ain't steal from you, they stole from them.
No Reverend Jackson keeping hope alive. They steal, you're fired. If you stole from your previous company, you will steal from me. Cause when you was stealing, you was giving to me, so I know you're a thief.
So you ain't act, so you think that ain't no time in your business growing everything, you say that you've never seen a company that stole that you should not steal from because they stealing from the people and you think that they shouldn't be stole from. Fuck them. Because you steal, not you, but that company, that business.
Do you understand what stealing is?
Stealing is,
Explain to me what's a steal so we can get in the podcast. Tell me what a steal is.
this yours, I took it, put it over here. And a company, as we know,
Just
got-
explain the steal. Don't get educated with me.
no, it's not educated. They got multiple employees. They got multiple everything. They steal and they get all this is theirs, and they stole all this shit right
But
here
how?
because
Do
they
you know what a
did.
steal is?
I don't know. You tell
Okay,
me.
let me tell you what a steal is. Everybody understand what a steal is. A steal is when you conceal it, and I gotta figure out who stole. I don't know who stole until I start looking through shit, looking at cameras, looking at the books, looking at the shift, looking at who was on the shift at the time the most money was missing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a steal. You know what a take is? A take is that's your bill. I take it. You ain't gotta look at no book, you ain't gotta look at no camera, you ain't gotta look at shit. You know I took it, then I say, nigga, get it back how you live. That's a take.
All right, I don't like
the difference between a steal and a take, I gotta figure your thieving ass out. And if I gotta figure you out, I don't need you around. I get the fuck who you is.
Okay, so.
But if I take something from you because I feel like you take it from others, I'm letting you know, nigga, get out of here. You ain't gotta try to figure nothing out. You ain't gotta watch no cameras. You ain't gotta go back and ask people. You ain't gotta go back and look no book. I'm putting it in my hand and tell you I gotta do what you do.
So listen.
You understand between the steal and the take? A steal is concealing. A take is you knowing and I'm saying fuck off. So now you ask the question. No, let me answer.
Go ahead.
Now you ask the question. If I seen a company stealing from that another company or taking, that's what they do. I don't do that. You understand? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. If I see a motherfucker stealing and giving to me from another company, I'm not supposed to hire you because you're a thief. Because convince me you won't steal from me.
Okay.
Convince me.
So.
We're going to go all night about this.
We're not going to do this. Hold on.
We know we got to end the podcast at some point.
Hold on.
The Pointe Podcast got to end it.
Hold on. Yeah,
like the game.
This is the ending right now. We're going to end on this level. Since you made a distinction between stealing and taking, I will concede to what you're saying.
Based on politician shit you concede. I'm gonna take that.
Based on taking. I'm gonna concede to you saying there's a difference between taking and stealing. In my opinion, taking and stealing could be the same damn thing.
It ain't the same.
Okay, cool, but I'm gonna concede to that.
But listen.
I'm gonna concede to that.
Your phone, somebody.
It's ring, but I'm on podcast.
You gotta pick it up. So it won't vibrate on the table. Only thing I'm saying is, we gonna go back and forth. In my opinion.
Because that's semantics. That's semantics. Steal, take, steal.
That ain't no fucking semantics.
It is.
Stealing is concealing. Taking is you know I took it. When somebody go in the store,
tomato.
No. When somebody go in the store with strong arm, you know who's strong arm you.
Right, they took it.
That's why they call it strong arm. When somebody burglarized the place, they waited till you left and they broke in your place and stole. You gotta go looking at cameras, taking fingerprints and all that. But motherfucker strong arm you ain't gotta try to figure him out.
You're right, but we're talking about in business, not in the streets.
I'm talking about in business. Go to business. If a motherfucker's giving you free drinks, and the owner don't know they giving you free drinks, ain't agreed for them to give you free drink, give you discounted drink, give your buddy discounted drink, giving them free drink, that's stealing.
So
because when they go to count their liquor counts, and it's coming up short, they gotta figure out who's on the shield.
Let me ask you a question. So listen, this is Hennessy, right?
Hey, listen. Make sure you get a ball. No. We gotta eat the ball. But what we gonna do?
We're gonna continue?
No. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. What we gonna do at this Pointe Podcast today? I'm gonna make sure and ensure that if he comes to Pinpoint to buy or lease a ball, I make sure and ensure he get it. And I'm gonna make sure and ensure I plan a motherfucker in there to steal. That's
not what we doing. That's not what we doing.
Because you basically said you're a high thief.
No. This is the point. Hold on, we're gonna get this on camera. This Hennessy, right? If I decide to sell this Hennessy and I go get a bottle of whatever Cavassier.
You know you old school too, right? Niggas been drinking Hennessy since
Good.
I ain't no change. You really get them too, right? I just want to know.
Cool, I do.
But I got to get them drink though.
They ain't ghetto.
I know.
Hennessy is just it's long lived. But I'm gonna get a bottle of the cheapest cognac that's out. And I pour half Hennessy.
That's stealing.
Half. Okay, cool.
That happened to me before.
Good.
And I fired the person.
Good. So what I'm saying is,
one of my balls, they tried to post some other shit in there, sell some shit.
All right.
You know why they did that? Because the motherfucker stole the real shit. Sold the real shit.
Okay, but you, if you as the owner did that, You as
They
the
still-
owner. You as
They
the
still-
owner
they a
did
piece of
that. And then
They're a piece of shit.
The
If they
people-
mixing up the liquor.
the people-
You're not giving the person
You're-
what they buying.
you're right. But
That has happened to me.
But the people working for you, and you did that, and they know you did that, and they were like, okay, damn, the owner fucking up the whole liquor situation. Matter of fact, he charging this amount for that, but I know they ain't full Hennessy. I'm gonna give my peoples a discount because I know they ain't full Hennessy. It's the other bullshit. Who's stealing? Who?
Okay.
It's all stealing.
They all stealing.
Everybody's
Let
stealing.
me ask you this here, and we got to end the fucking part.
Good.
But you is not gonna get the last word on my podcast.
It's your podcast. Get the last
Can't
word.
tell.
I love you, sir. I love
Let
you.
me ask you this.
Yes. We're gonna cut it off
Let
real
me-
quick.
let me
Good.
ask you, let me
All right.
Let
Good.
me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
If you cheat on your wife,
Mm-hmm.
your wife goes.
You gonna end on that?
Listen,
You gonna
let
end
me
on that?
finish.
You gonna end on that?
Let
That's what
me
you wanna
finish.
end on.
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
And your wife cheat on you, not with one, not with two, but three different niggas.
Mm-hmm.
How are you gonna accept that cheat when you initiated the cheat? Are you gonna say, well, baby, I initiated the cheat, I gotta accept three niggas' dicks running up in me, placing a print marking, you possibly, goddamn me, doing everything you do to be with them, or I gotta leave your stank ass. What are you gonna do? You gonna leave her, or you gonna stick with, you got now 3 other DPs inside her vagina?
I ain't gonna answer that question, but I'm gonna say
No.
you got the last word. You got the
I
last
want you
word.
to answer the question.
I'll leave that hoe.
Okay, well then that's the same thing when a motherfucker
Well,
giving
good.
your shit away.
Good. Yeah. Cheers.
They give
Cheers,
your
brother.
shit away, you leave it.
Cheers.
Why you can't leave it when a motherfucker giving your money away?
Cheers.
If we gonna
Cheers.
leave it at.
We gonna leave
Hey,
it at.
we hope y'all enjoy
We hope
John
that.
Bishop with Pointe
You got
Podcast.
this brother right
We
here.
hope y'all enjoyed the conversation. It went all the way to the fuck left.
Always. But it go
And if
good.
you a thief, I got to say, if you steal for a living, please apply for a job in this up and coming restaurant, because you are automatically hired and you are okay with giving his liquor away. Pointe Podcast, y'all know everything about real estate, but today, I don't know what the fuck it was about. So hey, thank y'all. Subscribe to Pointe Foundation YouTube.
Salute.
Anybody want a commercial real estate property, do not hold this podcast against us, because we got but y'all can find us on pinpointbrokers.net. Hey, where can they find your enhancement pills?
Everywhere and
You
anywhere.
gotta tell them everywhere. How the fuck they can go anywhere?
Go online. Go to
Tell them the name of the shit.
Jack Hammer Platinum.
Now why is it called a platinum?
Cause it's platinum.
They don't need no headaches?
No.
Jack Platinum headache. Go ahead.
Damn it, man. Jack Hammer Platinums, yes. Just go online. You can order online, or you can go into your local stores, gas stations, different places. Yeah, you'll see.
No, you still couldn't have.
Of course.
Where can they get a fresh cut from John?
GBI, Duluth Highway across from Gwinnett, Sugarloaf Mills Mall.
GBI?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the name of the shop?
Yeah.
GBI?
GBI.
All right, we hope you guys go and visit and support Mr. John Bishop. He got a great, interesting story to the end. I don't know about that. I'm a fire motherfucker.
We ain't finished yet.
Yeah, but
We
listen.
ain't finished yet.
He enjoyed y'all
We ain't
this one
finished yet.
podcast. He enjoyed his good meal, his turkey necks, his red beans,
All that, everything.
his rice, and his cornbread. Hey, and hey,
I got a great plate waiting for me over there.
there y'all go. Pointe
And this is great
Podcast.
host.
Peace. We out.
Great host.